Hello, beautiful students. Welcome back to our online social studies class. And our date is from 23rd to 27th of January 2022. Day 1 on our book is from the student book, page 51 to 52, workbook page 19 to 20. Like I said again, day 1. The value of the month still remains loyalty. And what is loyalty? Loyalty means remaining true to people who need me even when circumstances are tough. Our lesson objectives are, at the end of this lesson, students should be able to tell that communication is conveying news, informations, ideas, and messages among people from around the world. Number 2, to list some means of communication used throughout history. Vocabulary words. Our first vocabulary word is communicate. What is communicate? Communicate is the art of giving, receiving, and sharing information. In other words, talking or writing and listening or reading. Exchange, to give in return for something else. Invent is to make something new that no one else has made before. Invent means to make something new that no one else has made before. Signals. Signals is to notify by action, movement, or sound. Then feelings. The ability to sense things by touch. The ability to sense things by touch. Now, before we go into our topic for the day, let's talk about what we discussed last week. Last week, we talked about the early men on earth, how they lived in the cave and not in the modern houses, how they used animal skin or animal hides to make dresses, to make shoes for themselves, and how they discovered rubbing stones together brings out fire, and also how they invented stone to make tools for themselves for fishing. Okay, they use stone to make tools for themselves for fishing, and also how they built their stone houses from cave to stone houses. Okay, identify the following picture. Drawing, very good. This is a picture of an early man drawing on the wall. This is a form of communication those days, okay? Mobile phone, drum, very good, drum. Bell, again, bell, very good, everyone. Now let's read one after the other. Bell, drum, drawing, and mobile phone. All these items are tools for communication. They are tools for communication. Before we go into definition of communication, let's quickly talk a little bit about communication. You know, people exchange news, thoughts, information, and feelings all around the world by different means of communication. Again, people exchange news, thought, information, and feelings all around the world by different means of communication. Some group of people who lived long ago in Africa, they used bells and drums to communicate with each other from a distance. They made certain sounds, and each sound had a different meaning. Each sound had a different meaning. Now, when people couldn't see each other, they sent signals using bells and drum. Look at this image here. This was in the past when they don't see each other. They send signals using bells and drums, Now, it became easier for people to speak with each other when telephones were invented, okay? Telephones were invented. One person can speak to another person in a different continent only by dialing his phone number, So now when we don't see our loved ones, we just get their number, and will dial their phone number and speak to them. Okay, so I want you all to take a close look at these two columns here. 1, 2. This is a smoke. It is called a signal. Okay, it is called a signal. All right. Now, the Red Indians who live in the United States of America, they use fire and smoke to send messages, okay? They use this fire and smoke to send messages. It's also a way of communication. They communicated, you see that there's a man here. This man was actually communicating to this man here that they won a battle. He was actually communicating to this man here that a battle has been won by setting 2 fires so that the smoke would go up high. The other man over there could see it. All right. The column of smoke meant that the battle was won. Okay. Now, what is communication? What is communication? Communication is the process of passing information and understanding the same from one person to another through verbal and non-verbal means. Again, communication is a process of sending information and receiving the same from one person to another through verbal and non-verbal means. Now, there are 5 different ways people communicate. There are 5 different ways people communicate. 1, they communicate verbally, okay? Verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, listening communication, and visual communication. Again, verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, listening communication, and visual communication. Now, I want you to understand this. When we are in a long way from someone, we can communicate with them by phone, by letters, by emails, and social media. Now, the world is so easy now that we can communicate with our loved ones far away from us. For example, people that live outside Qatar, how do we communicate with them? We communicate with them by making calls or sending letters through the post, to the post office, or sending email, or even through social media. Now, one more time, what is a communication? What is communication? Communication simply means the process of passing information from one person to another through verbal and non-verbal means. How many types of communication do we have again? How many types of communication? We have 5 types of communication. The first one is what? Verbal communication. The second one is what? Non-verbal communication. The third one is what? Written communication. The fourth one is what? Listening communication. And the fifth one is visual communication. In our next class, we are going to comb all these five types of communication one by one, okay? We'll talk about them and give the definition of verbal, non-verbal, written, listening, and visual communication. We are going to comb them one after the other. Now you are going to click on this video to watch, okay? Now your homework. Draw 2 means of communication. We are going to draw it here. 2 means of communication. After drawing, take a picture and send it to the class dojo. Now, this is our online classwork, okay? Online work. Complete the following sentence by choosing the correct words from the box. Number 1, people who lived long ago in Africa used dash to communicate. What did they use to communicate? People that lived long ago in Africa, they use bells and drums to communicate. They use bells and drums to communicate. 2, dash use smoke to send signals, to send messages. What is it? Red Indians, the cavemen, or the deaf people? Of course, the Red Indians. Number 3, people use dash before they learn how to write. People use to draw before they learn how to write. Number 4, a dash is a machine that can make hundreds of copies in one day. A photocopier. A photocopier is a machine that can make hundreds of copies in one day. Now you're going to click this online game to watch, okay? Play this online game for more understanding. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's class. I'm going to see you in our next class. Don't forget, we are going to continue the communication and we're going to come around the 5 types of communication. I'll see you all in our next class. But meanwhile, please continue to keep safe. I love you. I'll sign out now. Bye.